What's up YouTube? Thanks for tuning into the video. Today we're going to talk about this new helmet from Scorpion, the Covert FX. This is their brand new helmet for 2023 and it comes loaded with features and benefits at a really competitive price point. And I can see this being a really popular helmet for Scorpion. Before we get started, full disclosure, Scorpion did send me this helmet for free to test out along with their R1 carbon helmet. So shout out to Scorpion for making this video possible. But with that said, I've been a big fan of Scorpion for a while now and I've owned a few of their helmets, primarily their Scorpion Covert X. And so when this Covert FX helmet came out, I was immediately interested and I was immediately sold on this helmet just because this is my style of helmet. I don't know what it is, maybe it's just my inner dino bro, but I do fancy this helmet quite a bit. Well, alright, enough with the blabbing. Here's how I'm going to structure this video. One, we'll talk about the helmet a little bit, the styling and the features. We'll compare the Scorpion helmet with the Biltwell lane splitter, as well as the Simpson Outlaw Bandit and the Mod Bandit, which I've owned. Third, we'll then talk about my initial impressions around like comfort, visibility, buffeting, quality, etc. And then lastly, we'll talk about a couple of areas that I personally just didn't like. Spoiler alert, for me, these areas were pretty minor and not necessarily a deal breaker by any means at all. So let's dive right into this helmet. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about was just the styling of the helmet. So this is the follow-up to the Covert X helmet, which I've owned for quite some time, and the folks at Scorpion developed it into a full face version. One of the reasons why I just couldn't get down with the Covert X is that little chin bar. It didn't offer that much protection, so I'm really happy to see that there's a full face version of the Covert X. The elephant in the room, like I mentioned before, is that it has a very similar style and look to the Simpson and Biltwell lane splitter, which is a very popular style amongst cruiser riders. As far as features go, this helmet definitely packs a punch, all at a $249 price point. It's using its latest fiberglass aramid and polyresin fibers. It's got their Quick Wick comfort liner. It comes with two shields, a dark and a clear, and is treated with their anti-fog treatment. It has closable vents near the mouth and the top of the helmet. It's ECE and DOT approved, integrated speaker pockets. The helmet is also Eyeglass Sunglass friendly. The helmet also comes in a range of sizes from extra small all the way to 3XL, and you get all of this for the very low price of $249. This is possibly one of the most feature-rich helmets that I think you can get on the market today at this price point. So it's safe to say for me, I think Scorpion really knocked it out of the park on this one. So comparing it to the lane splitter and the Simpson, like I mentioned, this helmet resembles very closely to the lane splitter and the Simpson models, with that aggressive styling and the protruding face bar with the whisker vents on the side. And so for those that are looking to get into either a Simpson or a Biltwell, now you have another option to consider. In terms of comparison with the Biltwell lane splitter, both are at the same price point, but in my opinion, the Covert FX by far is a superior helmet. It's lighter, it has closable vents, and it comes with two face shields instead of one. And so for me, I would pick the Covert FX over the Scorpion 10 times out of 10 over the lane splitter. Now, it gets a little bit tricky if you're trying to compare the Scorpion to the Simpson because of the varying price points, but I've had the Outlaw Bandit and the Mod Bandit for quite some time. And while I really loved them both, I just couldn't ride with it during the winter because the Outlaw Bandit didn't have closable vents. It also only shipped with a clear visor, and the Outlaw Bandit costs about $500 and I believe about the same price point for the Mod Bandit. To me, you get a very similar look with the Scorpion Covert FX. Not only that, but it also has all these features that I didn't get with the Outlaw Bandit, and it only costs you about half the amount. So I think it's really hard to argue when you're talking about value because the Scorpion Covert X delivers just so much value for $249. Now, if you are a fan of the Simpson and if nothing else will do, of course, you're going to buy the Simpson, but I think the Scorpion Covert FX is just a really compelling helmet because of all the things that you get. It looks great, you get a lot of different features, and it's $249. Like, I don't know, it's a no-brainer decision for me. My initial impressions with this helmet, I'm a huge fan of this look, obviously, like I mentioned. I'm just very impressed with the helmet. In terms of comfort, it fit me really well. I'm a size XL, and the XL fit me really well, so true to size. And I really like the Scorpion comfort liner. It just feels really smooth against the skin. And so taking the helmet on and off is just really comfortable, and there's not as much abrasion against the skin. I can really see myself going on all-day rides with this helmet while still being really comfortable. The field of vision is great, nice wide view, and that anti-fog treatment on the visor, it's not a gimmick, it works. I took this out in the morning and the visor stayed nice and dry, and I didn't have to like pop the lid to demist the shield, which is a really nice touch. Of course, you can add the pin lock. It doesn't come with one, but you can add one if you'd like. The visor doesn't have those intermittent detents, but it does have these notches you can kind of hear. So there is articulation throughout the range of movements, but I don't think you'll have that really nice positive click into any one of those detents. And I think you'll only really be able to ride this in a couple of different face shield configurations, whether it's all the way closed, maybe slightly open, or all the way open. The helmet is also extremely lightweight. And it just adds to the overall comfort. And it's nice having closable vents so that you can control kind of the environment within the helmet, inside the helmet. In terms of wind buffeting, I'd say this helmet falls in line with some of the other helmets that I've owned. I didn't notice a drastic reduction of wind buffeting, but at the same time, my head wasn't really bobbing in the wind either. So right in the middle, good, not great. Overall, I'm just really happy with this helmet. If I paid $250 for this, I'd be ecstatic with how much bang for the buck that you're getting. All right, so we're coming into the final destination. Let's get into some areas that I didn't like, starting with their toolless windshield removal system. So you have to line up these arrows both on the helmet and the windshield, and you pull the visor out of the helmet, and then you repeat that process the other way with the visor into the helmet. To be honest, I didn't care for that at all. It takes a little bit more force than what I'm comfortable using. And in general, I don't really like touching the visor all that much. Like, to force the visor into the helmet, it just, my hands were all over it. My hands were inside of it. That's what she said. I didn't like that very much just because you get like all these handprints all over the visor and then you have to clean it up. It seemed a little bit more complicated than what I would like, if I'm being honest. But all that being said, you can remove the windshield and you can install the windshield or the visor without a tool, but you can also use a tool, the Allen keys, to remove this little bracket, take the visor off, put it back on. That's what I did. You have a couple of different options. But overall, I think that mechanism to remove the visor, a little bit complicated, you know, it is what it is. In terms of fitment, while the helmet fit me really well at first, I prefer it to be a little bit more on the snug side because I know that the helmet will break in. The Scorpion FX has a looser fit, I think, to just accommodate a wide range of faces and heads. But that also means over time, the pads might wear in and this helmet might get loose for me over time. I'm not saying you should size down necessarily, but if anything, you can probably grab a different cheek pads to customize your fit. The last thing, you know, the loose fitment also means just a little bit more wind noise within the helmet. It's not the quietest helmet I have, and when I'm wearing this helmet, there's a lot of open pockets near the neck, which introduces more wind noise into the helmet. If you look at the chin curtain, I don't know if you can see that over the camera, but it doesn't really come all the way in. So it does create like little pockets here and there, and that's where I felt a lot of wind just coming through. Even when I had the vents closed, that does create like a little wind vacuum, and I can kind of hear that noise in the helmet. Again, not a deal breaker because I'm generally wearing earplugs anyways, and also using a comm system for music. So, but just thought you all should know. When I saw the helmet, you know, I was like, it's gonna be like a $350, $400 helmet. That's probably not something that I'd be interested. But when I saw the price at $250, I was just kind of blown away. And I know that Scorpion always delivers on just how much value they give you for the buck. Even some of their more expensive helmets, there's a lot of innovative features that you don't get elsewhere. Like the R1 helmet that they sent me has a little pump where you can pump up the cheek pads to get a more customized fit. Like, don't see that anywhere else. So I know that Scorpion creates a ton of value for your hard-earned money, and it's the same thing for the Covert FX. I'm really happy that they sent me one of these because I probably would have bought one myself either way. So again, thank you to Scorpion for making this video possible. I would say 10 out of 10 on recommendation on if you like this style of helmet, go grab one. You will not be disappointed. That's kind of how I see it. For $250, you just can't go wrong. All right, that's the video for today. Thanks for tuning in, and then until next time, I'll see you later. Peace.